Hey folks, I know it's been a while, but we're back at it. Today we're going to look at a guy who was more places, done more things, and saw more things than Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be learning about a guy named Saul, or Paul. He's the same guy, but different.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
We first get a glimpse of Saul when Stephen is getting stoned. He stoned with rocks, not like Colorado stoned.
I think we're barked, man.
Saul was there, and the folks who were doing the stoning were laying their coats at the foot of Saul, meaning he was overseeing it. Not only was he overseeing it, he was glad to be a part of it. I'm being honest with you. So after the stoning of Stephen, the Christians took off in every direction trying to escape this persecution, which is funny because the whole purpose of stoning Stephen was to shut down Christianity, when in fact all it did was cause Christianity to spread. They wanted to kill it at that spot, but instead they caused the spread of Christianity, which is quite funny. But in the case of Paul, he had to take this persecution show on the road. So essentially he became like the Uruk-hai looking for Frodo. So essentially, Paul gets warrants from the religious leaders. The Bible says papers, but that's exactly what it was. It was warrants from the religious leaders to persecute, to go chase, arrest, and if necessary, kill people who are spreading the message of Christ. And he's doing that, but on his way to Damascus, he's knocked off of his horse by a bright light and he's blinded. Wait, I did it again. I always say that. In my mind, he's always on a horse. The Bible doesn't say he's on a horse, but we all think he's on a horse.
Ugh. Idiot.
Regardless, on the way to Damascus, he's knocked to the ground by a blinding light, and he hears Jesus speaking to him, and he's like, "Why are you persecuting me?" And Saul's like, "Who are you?" And Jesus is like, "You know who I am." And they go through all this, and Jesus sends him to Damascus, and he tells him, "Go into town, await further instruction."
Did I stutter? I'm blind.
So after 3 days of being hungry and blind, because the Bible says he didn't eat and drink while he was there, the Lord comes to a guy named Ananias. He's a disciple, one of the believers who were in the town there. And he tells him to go find this guy named Saul. Now, Ananias was not excited about this adventure because he knew who Saul was. To tell Ananias to go face Saul, the one who oversaw the stoning of Stephen and the arrest and probable murder of multiple other Christians, would have been the equivalent of telling the fellowship to just march on into Mordor.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
Finally, I've been trying to get that clip into a video since I started doing this. Finally, the Lord gives him specific instructions on how to find this man, what's going on, and all this. And I believe he did this on purpose, because if it were me, I'd have been looking for every reason not to complete this task. He tells him, and I quote, "Get up and go to the street called Straight, inquire at the house of Judas for a man from Tarsus named Saul, for he is praying, and he has seen a vision of a man named Ananias." I would have been looking for any one of those things to be missing. I would have walked up, found the street. Yep, the street called Straight. Is this Judas lives here? Yes, this is the house of Judas. All right, yeah. You wouldn't perhaps have a guy named Saul here. Yeah, he is. Is he praying? No, he's not praying. Sorry. I'm sorry to bother you. Wrong house. I'm really not where I wanted to be anyway. Shalom. You have a good one. Enjoy dinner. But no, sure enough, he finds him. He's there, and he prays with him. Saul gets baptized. He learns more about the Lord, learns more about Christ, learns everything he needs to begin ministry, and he starts sharing the gospel with people in the synagogue. He starts sharing the message of the Messiah in the synagogue and how Christ is the Messiah that they've been waiting on. And the Bible actually says that he was convincing people, and this upset the Jewish leaders. So the Jews get worried about the impact that Paul is making in their area. He's converting a bunch of these Jewish people to Christianity, and they start plotting to kill him. And word gets to Paul that they're trying to figure out a way to kill him, and his boys sneak him out of town. It actually says they snuck him out of the walls in a basket, but he gets out of town.
You're beautiful.
So he gets to Jerusalem, and he's wanting to hang out with the disciples, wanting to hang out with the other Christians. He's wanting to learn from them and learn how to minister from them. But you can imagine they're kind of nervous. They're scared of him. They know who he is. They know what he's done. They know what he's about. But then Barnabas shows up. This guy, he comes and puts his arm around Saul, and he tells the other disciples, and he's like, look, man, I've seen this guy in Damascus. I've seen what he's been doing. He's been preaching Christ. He is a brother. He is one of us, and he's already having a big impact. So everything cools down a bit, and they have some unity there. So the Bible basically tells us that he gets to walk around freely in Jerusalem. He's ministering. He's going into the synagogue, and it actually says that he's arguing with the Hellenistic Jews, and the Jews get tired of it again. And for the second time, but certainly not the last, there's a hit put out on Paul. They want to kill Paul over him preaching. And this is an ongoing theme throughout the life of Paul. There is so much that happens in his life. There's absolutely no way that we can cover it all in one video. But they find out that they're trying to kill him. The brothers sneak him away. They send him back home. He goes back home to Tarsus, and he spends a couple years there learning and growing and finding out different and more effective ways to minister for the Lord. And little did he know that God had big plans for him. And we'll look more into those plans next time. I promise you it will not be as long between videos. We'll probably try to have one out every week, maybe every 2 weeks. But not just Bible story clips. We're going to have some other things that, well, we hope they're entertaining. We'll see. Thanks. God bless. I love y'all. I hope y'all have missed me as much as I've missed y'all. I'm going to go eat. It's late. It's hot. Peace.
Why didn't I not say